I'm not quite sure. But when you see a story about yourself and you know it's not true, then you truly know, oh my God, they're just writing anything now. They're just writing lies. The world can't compete with China's infrastructure. Is that not true? It's weird actually, this guy who wrote this article is talking about titles that I wrote. And then a couple days before that, I get banned from YouTube for misleading titles. And we're gonna still continue to show the real streets of China. They cannot silence me. They will never silence me. They will never silence our voice.
And this is just a great example of how Western media likes to really twist the facts about China. The reality is that the United Nations came out and said that there will be a global food crisis within the next 50 years. China, what they decided to do was to start instituting a policy and simply saying, look, let's be a little bit more mindful of the food that we're wasting. Now, if any of you have traveled to China before, you'll know that many Chinese people go to restaurants. They typically order dishes, anywhere from 10 to 20 of them, put them in a table, and share them in large groups of people, family style. It's a great way to enjoy a meal. Unfortunately, at times, it can be very wasteful. So China is simply saying, let's just be a little bit more mindful of how we're consuming our food. Let's try our best to not waste food. So again, China's doing something positive, but Western media is going to twist that, and they're going to twist that in a way to make you think that China is struggling, because that...
Since I first got here. China has to be the country out of all the places that I've been that feels the most different to my country. It can be difficult sometimes living in a place that is just so very different, but then again, that is why I travel, to explore new cultures outside of my own, outside of my comfort zone. One thing is for sure about China, it is never boring.
China is success.
中国是我最想去留学的地方，不可以帮助我
Popular language nowadays, I think in near time Chinese will be more popular than English, and all we have to learn it.
A really strong economy. The whole manufacturing of the world is there. They have a lot of factories.
Chinese music very calm and important for the health of the soul. When I saw temples of Buddha, I felt something not important, but something deep inside of me, something that could call me to this country.
In almost every household you go in Nigeria, you find a Chinese product because Chinese products offer low costs but also quality electronic product like.
If they got a population over about 4 million people, they've all pretty much got a brand new metro line built within the past sort of 5 or 10 years. And not only that, they're really cheap as well. And comparing to the UK, look, the underground is fantastic. It's been built for more than 100 years. And back in its heyday, it was phenomenal. You know, bit of infrastructure. But now, it's a bit old, it needs some more maintaining, it needs some more investment. And in comparison to these Chinese metros and a lot of other countries who have these very spacious, fast metro systems, it just doesn't kind of pull its weight. And it's kind of very expensive as well. So I just think it makes it very affordable to travel around the cities for, you know, any average Joe on an average wage, which is a good thing.
Some of the older metros in and around China, it's fully autonomous. So previously the driver had to stop and start at the stations. This one does it completely automatically, so it'll always be in exactly the right position to line up with the doors when it stops.
First reason I love China is how convenient it is. I guess you would consider it a mobile society. Your phone is your everything. You pay for things using your phone. You call your taxi from your phone. You do all of your health information on your phone. You're tracked from your QR codes on your phone. Everything is related to your phone. And although that can seem kind of creepy, it's actually really extremely convenient. I love it. I love the ability to pay for everything everywhere, from the littlest of street vendors to the subway. Everybody uses their phone and mobile payment for everything. I haven't had to go to the bank for cash in over a year, outside of one time to get hongbao for Chinese New Year.
People
think of China, the first thing that comes to mind are cities with typical traditional Chinese architecture, like if everyone is still living in hutongs and there are temples everywhere. Massive crowds of people, shops selling fake products or like cheap things, and of course the gray sky full of pollution every day. If these are the only images you see of China from Western media, then it kind of makes sense that this is your perception. However, I've been living, studying and working in China for already a few years now, so I thought like maybe it's interesting and fun to show you my story of China and maybe showing you a bit like the real impression of China, I guess, because I guess like a lot of things has changed over the last.
Picked up living in China was never taking my wallet with me when I leave the apartment. When I used to live in the US, if I didn't bring my wallet with me, I would feel naked. I'd be like, how do I pay my bills? If I go to a restaurant, how do I pay without a debit card or cash? Well, in China, I'm actually so used to e-payments that I just need to bring my phone with me. I use my phone to make payments for food, whether it be at a restaurant or for takeout, to pay for my gas in my vehicle, to get a subway ticket at the subway, to even shop online because it is that convenient. It's actually quite dangerous because it only takes 3 to 5 seconds to make a payment, which can result in you actually paying and spending more money. And trust me when I say this, but it is so easy to make a QR code to receive payments, whether you're a small shack in a market or you have a large store in the mall. Some places even accept just your face for payments if you register properly beforehand.
Before coming to China, what was your perception of China?
Oh, a lot of stereotypes, like a mystical country with Kung Fu masters and still a lot of bicycle all around, like bicycle kingdom, you know.
The first time I came here was about 18 years ago, so I think before that, not a lot of perception, maybe a developing country, big developing country in Asia, and it's changed a lot since then.
So after your time here in China, have your perception changed about China?
Really, changed a lot, yeah.
What is that now?
Changed a lot and in a good way, because China, especially the key cities like Shanghai, Beijing, really international cities welcome foreigners like us. This is really a good place to live and to stay.
Everything is so digitalized every day, you know, here in China especially, like you pay everything with your cell phone. In Italy, you just forget about doing something like this.